Lin Chuyan jolted awake from his dream, as if yanked out from the depths of the sea. His chest rose and fell violently. Cold sweat clung to his forehead. He gasped for air, pain throbbing in his temples like steel needles driven into burning flesh. Each second felt like his skull would burst. He reached instinctively toward the bedside drawer, grabbed a small brown glass bottle, his fingers trembling as he poured a few pale green pills into his palm. He swallowed them all in one gulp, chasing them down with several mouthfuls of warm water from the bottle at his pillow. Within half a minute, the exploding headache began to subside, and the flood of memories slowly ebbed away. He leaned against the wall, wiping sweat from his brow, and murmured inwardly, "This isn't an illness. It's a curse." Since a certain day in high school, he had occasionally fallen into a state of uncontrollable memory overload. He could hear fragmented sounds, recall images lost for years, even perfectly visualize a single misspelled word from first grade. His brain felt as if it were connected to an unseen network, constantly receiving, analyzing, and storing information, past and present alike. He had quietly researched it online. Doctors said it was stress, maybe anxiety syndrome. Psychologists called it subconscious memory enhancement. But he knew something else was awakening his mind. For years, he had relied on this special medication sent from overseas. When his mother first mailed it to him, she only said one thing: take it. Don't ask where it came from. Yawning, Lin Chuyan sat up from bed. Morning light filtered through a slit in the curtain. Barefoot, he stepped onto the floor, walked to the window, and yanked the curtain open with a sharp swish. Spring sunlight streamed into the room, illuminating his pale face. Outside, high-rises and balcony flowers swayed in the golden light. As he spaced out, enjoying this rare moment of peace, a familiar shout rose from downstairs, accompanied by the slap-slap of slippers. "Chuyan, if you don't get up now, I'm cutting off your Wi-Fi." It was Grandma's signature wake-up threat. Lin Chuyan gave a faint smile, quickly changed into a t-shirt and cotton pants, and stepped out of his room. At the long table in the dining room, his cousin Ji-ran was lounging cross-legged, lazily eating an egg pancake. She wore cartoon pajamas, her hair a tangled mess, last night's eyeshadow still smudged at the corners of her eyes. "Well, look who actually came downstairs." "That's not like you, Master Chuyan," she said, waving her pancake at him. "Could you turn your game volume up any louder? Last night I thought we got hit by lightning." Ji-ran rolled her eyes and kept munching. "That's called an immersive gaming experience. Ordinary folks like you wouldn't get it." Grandma walked out of the kitchen with hot soy milk, giving Ji-ran a glare. "If you turn the sound system into a nightclub again, you're sleeping in the storage room tomorrow." Grandma, you're too harsh. If I can't get married one day, it'll be your fault." Ji-ran pouted dramatically. Lin Chuyan quietly rolled his eyes. This scene replayed almost every morning, unchanging, yet strangely comforting. It was the only time his mind wasn't under attack by those strange memories. But today was different. He had just taken a bite of pancake when the doorbell rang. "Someone's at the door," Ji-ran called out. Lin Chuyan walked to the door, turned on the intercom screen. On it was a man in a baseball cap, expressionless. "Delivery." "I didn't order anything," he muttered, but pressed the unlock button anyway. A few minutes later, the man came up, handed him a package. Black hard paper wrapping, no sender's name, only one line: recipient, Lin Chuyan, from Channel 13, Warren Street. Lin Chuyan frowned and took the package. Before he could say a word, the man had already turned and vanished down the stairwell at a startling speed. "What the hell?" he muttered. He returned to his room, pulled out a utility knife, and sliced open the packaging. Inside were two items: a black metal card, id-sized, engraved with a crescent moon and swirling clouds in an intricate pattern, and a yellowed letter. On it was a name, familiar and chilling: Chuyan. This card is the key to the moon of memory. I found the mind ruins, but I can't enter. It needs you. Not because you're ready, but because you don't have a choice. Ji Li, Ji Li, his cousin. 3 years ago, he went missing during a hiking trip. The police found nothing. Everyone believed he was dead. Only Lin Chuyan still remembered what he once said: "If you ever get something from me, follow the moon." He looked down at the card. It felt like it pulsed with warmth. The moment his fingertip touched it, boom, his mind exploded. The world ripped open. A flood of memory poured into his vision. He stood in the middle of a ruined landscape, beneath a full moon. Countless people encircled him, whispering in low voices, "The memories are not your own. The gate will open tonight." Lin Chuyan snapped out of the hallucination, his forehead drenched in sweat. He stared at the black card in his hand, as if what he had just touched wasn't metal, but the handle of a door. He took a deep breath, slipped the card back into the envelope, and carefully placed it in the deepest corner of his desk drawer. As he opened the second drawer, his hand paused again. There it was, the last photograph Ji Li had given him before disappearing. In the photo, his cousin stood in front of an old library. Faint traditional Chinese characters were carved into the worn archway behind him. His smile was gentle, but it hid a determination known only to himself. Mind ruins. The phrase echoed in Chuyan's mind, a silent summons he couldn't explain. From the kitchen came the clatter of dishes. Ji Ran hummed a tune while washing up, and called out, "Aren't you going for that tutoring center interview today?" "Hey." Chuyan blinked. "Didn't you say you were applying to that? A brain development center or whatever? Something about testing your memory." "I said that." "There you go forgetting again." Ji Ran dried her hands, and tossed him a wrapped pancake. "Hurry up, or they'll think you ghosted them." Chuyan hurriedly gathered his things, grabbed his phone and the card, and muttered under his breath, "Brain Development Center. How ironic." Scene change. Sikan Memory Research Center, affiliated with Sanyang University. Located in the northern district of Songyi City, this building appeared to be an outsourced research lab of a local university, but insiders knew it had long-term ties with certain special government departments. Chuyan stood at the entrance, gazing at the sign on the automatic glass door, Sikan Lab. A strange sense of familiarity stirred in him. He was almost sure he'd seen this place before in a dream. He gave his name, signed a confidentiality agreement, and was led into a quiet testing room. White walls, gray chairs. On the ceiling, a fisheye surveillance camera hung like a mechanical eyeball. As he sat down, a young man in a lab coat and round glasses entered. He introduced himself casually. "Hello, I'm Ji Zhou. I'll be conducting your memory stress and cognitive processing test today." Ji Zhou studied Chuyan for a few seconds, then gave a curious smile. "Have you been here before?" "No." "Why do you ask? You just look like someone who's opened the door before." Chuyan stiffened. "What door?" "Nothing. Just a joke," Ji Zhou said lightly, but quickly lowered his head and scribbled something in his notes. The test lasted 30 minutes, questionnaires, image recall, sound reconstruction, pattern recognition. As it went on, Ji Zhou's expression grew increasingly intrigued. Finally, he closed the folder and said thoughtfully, "Chuyan, there's one special frequency test we offer, only to what we call high perception types. Would you be interested in trying it?" "What does that mean?" Ji Zhou's voice softened. "If you've recently received something from Channel 13, then you've probably already started to feel its call." Chuyan froze. His fingers instinctively brushed the card in his pocket. "How do you know?" Before he could finish, the lights in the room flickered. A shadowy image of a black full moon appeared on the wall. The card in his pocket began to burn, hot enough to sear through fabric. Ji Zhou's voice dropped to a whisper. "You've already activated the moon memoir. From this moment on, your memories no longer belong to you, alone."